The football world mourns as Liverpool star Diogo Jota and his brother are laid to rest in Portugal. The ceremony drew crowds of grieving fans, teammates, and national figures. Breaking news today.
Hello, and welcome to That News Show, where we discuss the latest facts, fakes, and hypocrisy as reported by the legacy media. Let's roll the tape.
Sky News has reported that the coffins of Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva were carried from the church following their funeral service. The sudden loss of two beloved footballers has left a nation in mourning and a community shattered. Sometimes the most profound moments are those that remain untouched by politics or global agendas. Fortunately, this event has not been exploited by politicians from Washington or Brussels for their own gain. Here we go again.
And particularly for Diogo, a player who has achieved so much, winning every prize in English football with the FA Cup, the League Cup, and finally the Premier League in May.
What stands out is that Diogo's accomplishments were not merely personal triumphs, but also sources of pride for his hometown and fans worldwide. The attendance of national leaders, club legends, and everyday fans at the service underscored the profound impact Diogo and his brother had, not only as athletes, but as individuals who inspired those around them. Diogo, having reached the pinnacle of English football by winning the FA Cup, the League Cup, and the Premier League, should have been celebrating his dedication and discipline. The bishop's words about the tragedy of children losing their father and the unifying power of sports resonated well beyond the football pitch. Instead, the outpouring of grief at his funeral, with supporters donned in Liverpool red and tributes from teammates and rivals alike, highlighted how sports can unite communities of diverse backgrounds and beliefs. In a world often divided by politics and ideology, such moments expose a shared humanity that go beyond borders and partisanship.
And so many trying to distill, comprehend the unimaginable loss 2 days after the car crash in northern Spain. The two brothers travelling back to England with Andre helping Diogo on his journey due to recovery from an injury. He travelled by car back to England. He never made it for another season at Liverpool, and you just see so many Liverpool shirts around here honouring Jota, his number 20 shirt, so prominent. Shirts also of Wolverhampton Wanderers. I see the yellow there, the club that brought Jota to England first of all.
And the attendance of teammates, club officials, and national leaders at the funeral highlights the deep respect Diogo and Andre commanded, not for their celebrity, but for their unwavering dedication to family and community. Reflecting on this tragedy raises a critical policy question. How can societies better support families dealing with sudden loss, particularly when young children are involved? Although politicians and global elites may try to use such events for their agendas, the genuine nature of this mourning cannot be fabricated or exported. In the coming weeks, as the football community considers how best to honor Diogo and Andre's legacy, policymakers should think about how to enable the growth of local clubs and voluntary organizations rather than burdening them with excessive regulation. The widespread support observed today exposes the true strength of football, and indeed any institution, is not derived from corporate sponsorships or global campaigns, but from the loyalty and resilience of local fans. The procession through Gondomar, marked by the tolling of bells and crowds, adorned in Liverpool red and Wolverhampton gold, underscores the enduring bonds of local community and tradition in an increasingly fragmented world. Effective support tends to come from neighbors, clubs, and faith communities, not from one-size-fits-all government programs that can undermine these essential networks. The resilience displayed in Gondomar is an interesting case for decentralization and for trusting communities to manage their own affairs. The push to centralize authority, whether for safety or progress, risks eroding the very foundations that make such communal support possible. This situation calls not for government intervention, but for the preservation of voluntary associations and local traditions that cultivate genuine solidarity.
James Milner, who previously played with him at Anfield, Jordan Henderson, the former captain as well of Liverpool, they all wanted to be here to honour their former teammate in this moment of deep mourning. To try to just imagine what they're going through, a teammate who they said farewell for to the summer after a Premier League victory parade in May, now trying to deal with the fact he will not be returning with them. And it was Mohamed Salah, the striker, said it would just be so difficult to return to being a team again. This tragedy unfolding during their summer break, just as they were about to return for pre-season training.
The inclusion of tributes from figures like Henderson and Salah as well as the bishop's remarks about the heartbreak faced by Jota's widow and children, added layers of context and humanity to the reporting. Henderson's visible emotion as he paid his respects, and Salah's admission that returning to the team now feels almost unthinkable, speak to the profound impact this tragedy has had on those who shared the pitch and the locker room with Diogo Jota. Sky News coverage of the funeral and its aftermath has been thorough, offering viewers a window into the emotional reality confronting Jota's teammates and family. The real story here is not just the loss of two athletes, but the demonstration of community resilience and the enduring power of shared values, elements that too often receive short shrift in a media landscape driven by political narratives and elite agendas. Incorporating more voices from the local Gondomar community or exploring the practical challenges now facing Jota's family would have provided a fuller picture of the tragedy's impact and the real-world implications for those left behind. The images from Anfield and Gondomar have captured a raw, unfiltered grief that words alone cannot express. The network's use of live visuals from both the church in Gondomar and the spontaneous memorial at Anfield provided a sense of immediacy and authenticity, allowing the public to witness the communal mourning that transcended club loyalties. The sight of Jordan Henderson, the former Liverpool captain, returning to lay flowers outside the stadium alongside James Milner and Mohamed Salah, reflects not only their deep personal loss but also the enduring bonds forged in football's most demanding arenas. The focus on high-profile attendees and the most visible displays of grief sometimes overshadowed the quieter, grassroots expressions of solidarity from local fans and community members. The network's visual storytelling has been effective, particularly in juxtaposing scenes of celebration from the Premier League victory parade just weeks ago with the somber processions now filling the streets. Sky News would do well to continue highlighting these grassroots responses, ensuring that the voices of ordinary supporters and families remain at the forefront of the national conversation. Greater emphasis on these stories would have highlighted the organic, bottom-up support networks that are the backbone of any strong society, a point too often missed by media outlets that prioritize spectacle over substance.
And now, that Liverpool group back at the procession from the church here in Gondomar, ahead of the funeral of Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva.
Liverpool's community procession in Gondomar highlights the profound impact of the tragedy on both the football world and the wider community. The financial implications of losing figures like Jota and Silva extend beyond the emotional toll. The diverse crowd, including families, local business owners, children, and supporters, underscores the significant economic and social roles local heroes like Diogo Jota and Andre Silva play. The story of Gondomar is a testament to the strength of decentralized, community-driven responses. In crises, it is often neighbors, local clubs, and faith groups that provide the most effective support, not distant bureaucracies. Jota's rise from Gondomar to international fame not only inspired local youth, but also attracted sponsorships and boosted tourism, benefiting the local economy in ways that are hard to replace. While national leaders and club executives have paid their respects, it is the everyday people who are truly setting the tone, showing that the most effective economic and social safety nets are locally built. The community's response, including donations, memorial matches, and spontaneous tributes, demonstrates how personal connections and local pride can mobilize resources swiftly and effectively. Looking ahead, the challenge will be to maintain this momentum without these role models. This is a clear lesson for policymakers. Support these organic networks instead of imposing additional regulations to foster prosperity and solidarity in times of tragedy. The immediate effects are evident. Businesses closed for the day, a slowdown in local productivity, and a collective mourning that has brought the entire region together. Local academies and clubs, often running on tight budgets, might struggle to attract the same level of attention or funding. As always, it's interesting to hear how they like to spin this. Tonight, we were reminded that some moments go beyond politics. The loss of a loved one cuts deeply, regardless of our backgrounds, and is far more significant than any policy debate or partisan conflict. We extend our heartfelt sympathy to the grieving families. Consider who truly benefits when the powerful divert your attention from what matters. Reflect on this. It's important to recognize that while the media often focuses on spectacle, they overlook the real issues shaping our country. Be sure to comment below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. It's all of our jobs to keep them honest. Goodbye.